Hi, and welcome to Laura's View and Tara too. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, January 28th, 2023. We have a co-host in the background. You may hear Chloe. She's kind of vocal tonight. We'll have to just carry on and ignore her, okay? Well, let's talk Pfizer or Project Veritas. You see, Project Veritas, who I hold in high esteem, and was more than happy to do a read on them, which you may know I don't do very often in the truther community, because if I can't say anything nice, or at least 90% or better nice, I don't want to touch it. We have enough divisions and things like that happening in the truth community. So the Project Veritas I hold in high esteem, and on Wednesday night, they released what is called a bombshell video. It was a Pfizer executive who was apparently doing some date talking, and it was actually undercover work on the part of Project Veritas. Now, let's look at, I compiled a timeline about this. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate. I do have some links to some interesting things, because you see, apparently my platform, YouTube, doesn't want that Project Veritas video to be on the YouTube platform. It is found on one that has a name that rhymes with tumble. And you're going to have to excuse my voice. It's a little hoarse today, but I'm not sick and it's not discomfort. It's just the way it is, right? So let's look at my compilation, because the last item in that compilation is a link that will take you to an article and that exact video. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, as near as I can tell, on January 25th, Wednesday, late, Project Veritas released this video. Now, the deep state or Pfizer, either or, they're kind of interchangeable, needs to change the narrative and distract. So the Mockingbird media presents a police incident that actually occurred 2 weeks earlier and on a Friday. So paid rioters could commence rioting on cue, bring forth the rioters, right? Now, Pfizer tried to disavow Walker, and Pfizer does have deep pockets. They can buy the best narrative redirection and control money can buy. I mean, just look at the riots that are happening in numerous cities over an incident that happened 2 weeks ago. And it was, I'm not excusing it, but it's not news. It's convenient release of something to distract. Now, there's also a theory that's been put forward that Walker was playing Project Veritas, that this is actually, Project Veritas didn't do their due diligence and got scammed. I think with all the disavowing and the fact that Walker's social media has been drying up left and right, but I'll show you one place to find most of it that still remains, I kind of doubt that, okay? Now, just 12 hours ago, as I'm making this video, Pfizer delivered a statement admitting that it, on occasion, engineers a virus mutation, but it denies that that's directed evolution. How is it not? Engineering a virus mutation and a directed evolution process, I don't see a difference. Of course, I'm not a scientist, okay? I don't claim to be. Now, here's some of the links I compiled for you, and here's something that I found very interesting. You'll need to click on my Facebook link and go to this to see it large enough to read. I apologize that it's not larger. There are some limits to what I know how to do here. The 27th, when the rioting worries commenced, you know, we talked about how there's a 17 post that, under the auspices of dealing with civil unrest, that strategic movements of personnel could happen. There's also another one, not related exactly to that, but look at this. On January 27th of 2018, 5 years ago, from yesterday, Friday, when the rioting situation became such a concern, right? It talked about chatter exploding, and the chatter was about the Pfizer expose. Changing narratives are required. Public to awaken, sleeping pill reject, or Mockingbird failure. Okay, so the Mockingbird media, Mockingbird is our mainstream media. They're trying to direct us away from this Pfizer expose. Okay, and as always, where we go one, we go all. Now, I liked a tweet that was put out by Kim.com. Okay, he talked about the Project Veritas posted the internal Pfizer team's organizational chart showing Jordan, the doctor in question, and his reporting structure. And then he said his first question in the Twitter space was if they can show us evidence to verify this guy in his position at Pfizer, and they did. Moving on. Substack, a blog, has an excellent investigation done by Brian O'Shea. And it is excellent. And he is trying to compile all the documentation about this gentleman, and is even asking if someone has some archive things, because a few things have disappeared, like his Facebook page. Would they please send those archive documents to him so he can add it? Because it's funny, LinkedIn, he's taking himself off LinkedIn, Facebook, and then good old YouTube doesn't want us looking at that. And last but not least, these two items from Gateway Pundit. Here is where Pfizer releases their statement again that I just kind of quoted in short to you, that it's not directed evolution, folks. It's engineered mutations, and only on occasion. And then if you want to see the video, go to this last Gateway Pundit one, and it is at the bottom of the article, okay? So you can't find it directly on YouTube, but I showed you a way to find it if you want to see it. And truly, if Pfizer was trying to discredit Project Veritas, wouldn't they want that video to be out there all over the place and then pounce and say, ha, fooled you? And how did 17 know that 5 years in the future that there would be a Delta that involved this situation? It seems to fit really, really well. And if this is some of the documentation that makes people start to question narratives, to wake up, to realize that their responses are being coaxed along, and that they're being programmed, maybe they'll start a few more will break free. That's my hope. But let's ask the cards tonight, because like I said, I hold Project Veritas in high esteem. So let's ask the cards. Did I want to phrase it really well, did Project Veritas carefully vet the topic of this Pfizer executive expose? And what else does the universe want us to know about this expose and Project Veritas? So let's see. Was it vetted? And is there other information we should know? Okay, this Pfizer expose, was it well vetted, and what does the universe want us to know about Project Veritas? Our first card is the Four of Wands. Then the Two of Cups. Knight of Wands. The Chariot. Ten of Cups. Page of Swords, the Star. Once again, you guys don't need me to read this, do you? But I will. Hang on. Okay, so our question is indicated by the Four of Wands, which is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. We were asking if Project Veritas vetted their subject well, and we are getting a yes in the form of this Four of Wands. Okay, 1111. It's all good. Yes, they did. Okay. Now, it's we get a little more information from the Two of Cups. The cups tend to be about emotions, so they knew that this was going to be a highly charged situation. It's funny, look here. Underneath his, we almost have the exact insignia of the medical profession showing up here. So yeah, they knew what they were doing. He really was a doctor. Miss Dr. Walker does work for Pfizer, maybe not exactly in the lab setting, but he is associated with them. He knew what he was talking about. Okay, in the recent past, we have the Knight of Wands showing up. Now, the Knight of Wands is a very energetic card, okay? And he can be a little bit restless. And if he's not well directed, but we're getting an indication here that everything was well directed, he can be a little bit reckless, okay? And Project Veritas has had to take some chances with undercover reporting, things like that. Unfortunately, where we don't have truth in our media, they've had to play a pretty vital role throughout the years with everything from Planned Parenthood to other situations, including this one with Pfizer, because as we know, they've tried to squelch information about their product development and products that they've released and wanted them to be kept away from the public eye for 75 years. If you have nothing to hide, why hide it? Okay. We have the Chariot showing up here. He's the younger version of the Emperor. And he is forward motion, up for a challenge. He sometimes shows up when there's a move involved. But what's moving is the public perception and the public awareness of the mendacity of the mainstream media. And mendacity means dishonesty. Okay, now let's look forward and see some of the results of this. What's going to happen with this situation with this expose? I'm not getting any indication that Pfizer is going to be successful in claiming that it was a setup and they were trying to discredit Project Veritas and lessen their voice in the alt media community at all, because we've got a celebration card here with the 10 of Cups. Okay, happy, healthy family, celebrating. It's looking good for Project Veritas. So this effort, despite a lot of big money behind it, to discredit them or say that they were pranked, is not going to work out. Page of Swords shows up here to give us a little more information, and he is a card that talks about intelligence and truth. So we have truth here, causing a celebration, and overseeing all of that, we have our Star card, another major arcana. There's been 2 so far. And the Star card is a card of optimism and creative power and just alignment, all things working out well in the universe. So yeah, Project Veritas, if they were a public traded company, they may be, I don't know. I'd buy some stock. I would. Okay, let's get a couple other cards, see if we have a little more insight headed our way about this situation or Project Veritas. Okay. We have the Wands showing up here, the 9 of Wands. And again, it means there's been some conflicts and what have you. So yeah, they're trying to, they're having to prove that they did their due diligence, okay? But still standing and not going to be a problem, as we saw right here from the very start with that 4 of Wands. Then we have the 4 of Swords. Kind of interesting that it shows up here. Now, the 4 of Swords means there's some hidden information. Sometimes that means a hidden blessing. See, this may actually end up working out in Project Veritas's favor, where they're trying to make them seem like they are less trustworthy. I would think it's going to increase the trust people have in what they do. And yeah, it's looking good for them. It really is. It's interesting to note that 45 had enough faith in Project Veritas that the Trump Foundation awarded him a $10,000 support a month before Mr. T came down the escalator. And Mr. O'Keefe was at 45's invitation, present at the final presidential debate, and welcome in other situations where most media was not welcomed. And I know Mr. T vets carefully. Now, we also know he's known to keep his enemies close, but he usually sets them up, to show their true colors at some point. And that has not happened with Mr. O'Keefe or Project Veritas. So there you have it. A truther stamp of approval for me for Project Veritas and James O'Keefe. And I hope that they long may they do what they do with integrity and honor, because it's really sorely needed in our world. Okay, that's it for tonight. And remember, energy flows where attention goes. So take a few minutes and do your homework if you want to about this situation with Project Veritas and that video, and then get about the more important work of taking care of yourself, your family, your friends, your neighbors, and working at growing and being the best human possible. Until next time, I send you love and light. Thank you. Good night.